Hello, happy Friday. Made it to the end of the week. Friday, for those of you who have a Monday through Friday work week. Your weekend is coming shortly. For those of you who your Friday might be your Monday, hello, it's just Friday. Anyway, I did my daily morning weigh-in and I'm posting that. And I'm freezing. It's been cold here in kind of Northern California. About 30 miles, I think, outside of the San Francisco. It's still part of the San Francisco Bay Area where I'm at, but it's cold. I'm cold. And I feel like such a weather wimp. I do. Why am I feeling so cold? It's cold. Let me show you the temperature in the house. Can you see it? 61 degrees. I'm cold. Anyway, I grew up in a house from a baby till I was 14 that it was cold. I know that this would not have been cold when I was younger. It was really cold. And now I'm freezing in this house. Actually, I looked it up to see what it was outside, and it's like 52, and they're saying it feels like 48 or something. But so it's even colder outside. I already went outside this morning too, and the birds were still out there. They were up in the trees. That I did a short yesterday of all these birds flying around. But yeah, I just got up to do my weigh-in and to start my day. I got to get changed because I'm in my weigh-in clothes, and haven't even brushed my teeth. I come right away to say good morning to everybody out there, even though some of you, it might be good afternoon or good evening, but hello. I hope that you're catching some of my videos. I put out videos every day because, I'm retired and have learned how to stop and flip the phone. Watch. So here was today's weigh-in. It's down from yesterday's up, so it's moving on down. It used to be, there was a time in my life it used to be really hard for me to get into the 180s. I would always stall at like 190, and it took forever to get to like 189. So I can see that's not happening anymore. Probably because as I've gotten older, probably losing, more of my muscle mass, and maybe my bones are deteriorating. I don't know. I hope not. I'm not making light of that. I try to really, really eat a balanced diet to maintain my muscles and my skeleton and my bones and all that, because all weight loss is not good loss. I'm not fixated on the scale. I want to just, feel better. And I feel okay. I'm real stiff in the morning, but maybe it's like I'm turning into an ice cube. Who knows how cold it is at night. But I like the cold. I like sleeping when it's cold out and being bundled up. I don't, I sleep with a fan blowing on me. I don't know. It's crazy. But I see a lot of red spots on my face. Ugh. Is something getting me? I know this is from my glasses. These are those things that, look at that. You see that black spot still on my finger? That's the residue of the paint by number, and then my cracked nail. It looks really awful. So that is paint. If that was like literally black, it would be terrifying to have the nail look like that and black. But anyway, so today is a new day, and I'm going to fix my breakfast. I did not touch a chicken leg yesterday, and there were chicken legs still in the refrigerator. Those Costco chicken legs that are like so tasty. And I know they're full of sodium, and I'm so sodium sensitive. I still have the soup that I made that I've been eating. And my mom just recently asked, like, when is it going to be finished? So she's not enjoying it, I guess. She at first said it was good, but I guess, every meal might not be good. No, give her a little bit. And then she's like, well, can you put this other stuff I made, this pasta stuff, could you put it in an omelet? The pasta. I'm like, no. I don't know what happened. It would be nice to, I guess, find some people that are hungry that would trust my cooking and say, here's some food, but I'm not sure if they would like it. I took my neighbor some of the soup, and she said it needed salt. And so she said she salted it. I took my uncle some of it because it just made so much, and I didn't hear anything back yet from him. But to me, it tastes like I know there's sodium in it because I used the vegetable broth, and I put a little bit of tomato sauce. All that stuff is sodium. Did I sprinkle salt from a salt shaker? No, I didn't. Did I use Dash, not Mrs. Dash, but Dash? Yeah, I used Dash, and I used something Lawry's seasoning salt. That's salt, but I didn't use like the table salt. I mean, it's still salt, but I didn't put that much considering it was a giant stock pot. It was not my plan. I wanted to make like the proper portion, and we still have a lot of soup left. So guess what I'm going to have for breakfast? I'm going to have some soup, and today will be good because I'm freezing, I'm going to have some soup for breakfast, and I have it with my toast, which isn't really toast because I gave up bread. I have my rice cakes I get, and I put a little bit of peanut butter and a little bit of low sugar, jelly, and that gives me that sensation of there's no sugar added, something sweet, because I haven't had any cake or cookies or candy, and every time I say that, I feel like my eyes tear up. And I'm not crying about it. I did cry about that a few years ago. I was going through something. I know I talked to somebody on the phone. This was like way before COVID, and they started laughing at me because I had given up cake and cookies but I hadn't stopped the gluten stuff, and so I was having, or did I stop? Yeah, I did. I just did it all, and it was just, I don't know, it was harder the last time I did it, where it was like I was emotionally just going through trauma, food withdrawal, and I was on the phone saying, I don't know how I can do this, and they're like, are you crying, Laura? And I'm like, not exactly, and they just laughed, that's the level of sensitivity that I get from people, but it was rough. But this time, I'm like saying like, oh my God, no, whatever, no sugar. It hasn't been hard. It hasn't been as hard as other times I've done it, but I am on day 25, but I still think there was more days to it because I started before I actually decided to go on Facebook to put YouTube to, put this out there, because I used to put it out on Facebook all the time too. I'm going without sugar, but yeah, so this is like my longest I ever went without cake and cookies is like 41 days. So I'm at 25, but those 41 days I did it, each day was hard, where it hasn't been hard. And I don't know why. Then it makes me think, my anxiety thinks like, am I sick? Is something wrong with my appetite? But no, I'm not hungry either. But then I'm eating well, right? That's what it is. I'm eating well. And I haven't had any like boom weight loss, so that's good. Yeah, I got my issues with weight loss and weight gain, and I'll share those when it starts, probably when the weight gets a little lower, because it will. And then I'm probably, I know I'm not alone because I shared this one time. When my weight starts getting like to a certain point, it's like I start thinking like, is something wrong with me, whatever. And it just, that's not real helpful for maintaining weight loss. If you're thinking like something's wrong, let me eat something to test it out to make sure I can gain weight, but yeah, combined anxiety and using food to comfort yourself. And I guess the sugar is the endorphin hits in the brain. Sugar is a drug, it's like in a lot of foods. And I'm not doing like sugar free, like, I mean, like nothing with sugar. I am having some fruit, and I am having stuff that does have like sugars in it, but not cake, cookies, candy bars. And I'm talking, I remind myself kind of was it Kathy Bates in Fried Green Tomatoes, when she I think it was that movie where she was talking about she's eating candy bars or something. Not just one, but two, three, four. Like she's eating a lot of candy bars, and I found myself doing that. Going to the store, doing shopping, buying a candy bar. Eating a candy bar, then eating this and that, just everything, sugar, and it came to a head on my birthday. My uncle brought over. My birthday was in March, a tuxedo cake from Costco. And it was like, I could not stop eating it. And it was like, and just then my neighbor brought over a cookie for my, everybody brought me something sweet because they know I like sweets. My thing should be Laura likes sweets, not Laura talks softer. But it's Laura talks softer for a reason. Anyway, I'm going to talk as loud as I want. Nobody's going to tell me to talk softer.